75% is by far my favorite layout. I'm primarily a 60% user, but something about the extra keys just makes it look more complete and aesthetically pleasing to me. Welcome back to MacMerlin. Today I'm reviewing the EEPW84. Stay tuned till after the break. This is my first 75% custom keyboard. Yes, I do own an Octagon V2, but I still haven't built it yet. I'm part of the Seattle Mechanical Keyboard Slack, and Jay-Chan, the proprietor of keyclack.com, is also there. One day he made the announcement that he had a $20 keyboard kit for sale, and I jumped on it as fast as I could. Why was it $20? Mainly because it's got a bunch of dents, nicks, and scratches, but $20 for a PCB and aluminum case with shipping from California, I just couldn't pass it up. I jumped right on it. The EEPW84 is also known as the XD84, and at the time of this purchase, there was a group buy going on. I've included the link to that group buy down below for your guys' perusal. I think the 75% is a good compromise between having all the keys of a TKL and having the rough compactness of a 60%. You get your arrow keys and a function row. I pretty much just like all of the extra keys to put keycaps on. Like most custom keyboards, the EEPW84 PCB has full programmability. It utilizes the Chimera core. It also supports a variety of different layouts. In addition to in-switch lighting, there is also a single RGB strip on the back. A lot of the other RGB underglows supporting PCBs have two sets of RGB strips. With one strip, not only does the light not shine very bright, but it's also not very well diffused. The case is made out of three parts. The top and bottom are solid aluminum and a center acrylic piece. The case sits at an angle of 8 degrees, which to me is perfect. The PCB mounts in a tray mount fashion. Speaking of the PCB looks fairly well built. No extra globs of solder, but that's pretty typical of surface mount components on a custom board. Looking at the following photo, it's got additional features such as external RGB strip support, a logo that supports backlighting, and some external peripheral support. So if you've looked at the group by link that I put at the bottom, you'll see that there are actually different case flavors. You've got a bent metal plate, black and white plastic cases, and a translucent one too. The full aluminum case version actually looks to be low profile, but I have a high profile case. I believe it's because I actually have a KBD75, but even then it's not quite a KBD75 case. Maybe I have some prototype that was sent to Jay-Chan, I'm not sure. I think I would have preferred the low profile case because if I ever get a KBD75, it will just look way too similar. Anyway, you can still purchase this off of AliExpress for $70 for the 3-layer case, $32 for the PCB, and $17 for the plate. You've got quite a few options there, and they're all fairly cheap. Prices subject to change and do not include taxes or shipping. One reason why I bought this was because it was cheap. It's $20. And I didn't really want to spend much more than that, so I pretty much scrounged up the rest of my components lying around my room here, and I built the keyboard out of them. While the EEPW84 does have a plate, which was not included by the way, I chose to do a fully PCB mounted build. The last PCB mounted board that I owned was the Cherry G80-11800 with vintage MX Browns, and those felt really good. I was trying to replicate that same feeling on this board, but with a little more tactility. In my experience, PCB mounted clears don't feel very good at all, especially if you have any of those old Cherry boards that have the large and thin PCBs, such as the 8113 and the 8200. They just feel really mushy and really hard to press. I had some spare 60G springs, so I put those in the Cherry MX clears. An advantage to PCB mount is that you can spring swap and stem swap anytime. It's easy to change the layout, and stabilizers are easily repaired or accessed as well. I'm primarily using this keyboard for work, so I am a little worried about debris getting onto the PCB. As much as I love the 75% layout, it's really hard to find a key set that matches the profiles correctly. As it is now, it's using XDA milestone, a flat profile die-sub PBT key set. It was part of a keyclack group buy that ended in December of 2016. Special thanks to Jetpack Tuxedo for loaning this out to me. The overall feel is that it's slightly heavier than the vintage browns I was trying to replicate, but it feels a lot more tactile. The board is thick aluminum, so there really is no flex. I might try going for lighter springs, but for now, it's just fine. I'm super careful about all my customs, and I try my best not to put nicks or scratches in them on anyway. Since this board came pre-nicked or pre-gouged, I've already put some scratches on it, and I don't really care. Think of it as like my beater board. The PCB uses the Chimera core. It's a custom controller that's fairly similar to the Teensy. The keyboard is programmable using TMK, so it's not too hard to get the layout that you want. Unfortunately, there is no actual reset switch, but it does have this weird magnetic reset switch. I guess if you're not reprogramming your keyboard on a daily basis, this actually protects the PCB a lot better. $20 is not a bad deal. It's probably the cheapest modern mechanical keyboard that I've ever owned. In fact, it's the cheapest custom I've ever owned. But it's probably closer to $100 after my switches and my stabilizers and those extra springs. However, I do wish that it had more than one RGB strip and that the lights glowed brighter. I got really excited about the glowing logo, but as you can see, it's rather lackluster. I probably don't have the correct case, but with only a single RGB strip, the underglow effects are not worth it. Don't bother going for the acrylic case either. You won't be able to find any custom like this for $20, but if you're in the market for a budget custom 75%, I'd recommend this keyboard. Sure, you can buy a Drivo Excalibur or a Vortex Race 3, but if you're handy with a soldering iron, this keyboard is a much better purchase. Once again, thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that like button. And if you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them down below, and I will try my best to get back to you. I'll catch you all again at the next video. Are you looking for more custom mechanical keyboards such as this one? You're at the right place. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned till the next video.